L's after L's after L's after L's. It's just getting ridiculous at this point. Look, I'm just going to say it. If you believe in the red pill, you get your value from 304s, from lower status women. It is that simple. Andrew Wilson, a Orthodox Christian, clinically broke down and exposed the degeneracy in the red pill ideology. Only degenerates obtain value from who? From degenerates. Without further ado, let's get into this reaction.
That we start having troubles. So, for instance, I know you're infamous for this, right? But the have sex with 50 women thing, right?
Yeah.
Just so I make sure I don't get this position wrong, but I can give you like a counter example of what I'm saying.
Yeah, sure.
Can you lay your position on that out?
Why?
Yeah.
Okay, so we would agree, right, that the dating marketplace has changed.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Women
True, I agree, 100%. It has changed.
have changed, right? They think they're equal to you, the egalitarian thing that we talked about before. So since the dating marketplace has changed significantly and women have more sexual experience now than ever before because they think they're men and they can have sex and have relationships just like men, etc., and be promiscuous and not deal with the same ramifications.
Because of feminism. Because of feminism.
What guys have to do is kind of go in and understand how women operate in today's day and age. And I think a good way to do that, right? Obviously, there's a multitude of ways, but one way to do it is obviously to have experience so that you're not getting into a relationship or a situation with a woman and you're not aware of her nature and you don't know how to deal with it. I kind of like to use the analogy all the time. If you know you got a boxing match, right, in 5 years, right, with a very good and skilled opponent, well, what are you going to do? Are you going to play video games the whole time? Or are you going to train and get ready for the biggest fight of your life, which I look at as marriage? Because
So it makes you worldly.
everything.
Makes you worldly.
Yes.
Right? And
Yeah.
I think we don't disagree that that's true.
Yeah.
The Christian ethics pushback to this would
Of
be,
course.
but wait, you want, this is a requirement or something which is helpful to make you a high value man.
Yeah.
Well, this in turn would give this hoe value.
Yep. That makes perfect logical sense to me. If sleeping with 50 women contributes to you becoming a high value man, then those 50 women, aka 3 or 4s, must have some value. I mean, that's only logical, right?
But I don't determine a guy's high valueness from having sex with a lot of girls. I think a man being deemed as high status or high value is from his effort and his merit that he develops on his own, and then the women are byproducts.
But he has experience now. And experience is going to help him be high value, right?
Yes, it will. Myron. Yes, it will. Myron is conflating materialistic value with intersexual dynamic value. Andrew's coming from an intersexual dynamic standpoint. And according to these red pill degenerate podcasts, experience is valuable because apparently it allows them to understand female nature, which of course is complete bullshit and nonsense and a lie. More like it allows you to understand how to create a single mother.
I wouldn't attribute him being, because there's guys that are high value that don't get girls. Like I wouldn't say, like they're successful, they're smart, they're ambitious, etc., but they don't get girls.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they don't go out enough. Maybe they don't care to.
Oh, right. But they're more likely to get them if they want them, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, they're in a better position.
Yeah.
They're because it's a byproduct. But my thing is, your value as a man is not attributed to the amount of girls that you have sex with. I just think it allows you to be a better test of character. You're better able to assess the character of women when you've dealt with them before, so that you don't get finessed out of the value that you created.
Isn't that value? If experience allows you to assess a woman's character better, how can that not be value? Think, Myron, think. Again, we are talking about intersexual dynamics here.
Entailment of that be that you're high value. Like the entailment of I have X amount of experience.
Yes, that's the entailment.
That helps me with my value. Like that's going to be a portion of that. And so kind of the rebuttal that we would have is we would say, okay, maybe
I just don't attribute a man's sexual experience to him being high value. I think it helps him with assessing a partner.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't. But
again, how is that not value if it helps you assess a partner? How is that not value?
But him being high value is completely independent of having sex with a lot of girls. I think the women are a byproduct of his success.
Okay, so
That's my stance on it.
he is successful.
Yeah.
It's easier for him to get these chicks.
Yes.
Right.
And I think if he's going to go ahead and partake in women, he should have some experience, is what I think. Especially when he's higher value and he has a lot to lose. But I'm not going to sit. If I take two guys, right? One guy is making, one guy is wildly successful, etc., and another guy's wildly successful. One has a partner count of 1,000, the other one has a partner count of 0. To me, they're still both high value. Just one chose to use his value to attract way more women than the other.
But would you make it a prescription then? Would you tell men you should do this? It's good for you to do this.
I think if you're going to go and be marriage-minded and try to find a girl to take seriously, you should have some experience.
Then that has to add to the value.
Exactly. Then that has to add to the value. There's no way around it, Myron. You said if you're going to be marriage-minded and find a girl to take serious, you should have some experience. Then that has to add to the value. And it absolutely does. How can experience not be valuable if, according to these degenerate guys' worldview, promiscuous experience is a requirement?
I don't think so, man.
I don't see
you're
how.
high
If you're saying if you want this thing,
Yeah.
and this thing is to get married
Yeah.
to a high-value woman, right? To somebody who you consider to be virtuous and
How
good.
many times do you have to keep explaining it to this guy? Seriously. It's so obvious.
And this type of thing, right? If you're saying that having sex with a multitude of partners is then going to up your chances of being able to do this thing, to accomplish this thing, then I don't see how it's not attributing to the value.
I'm a complete degenerate, and I hate the fact that you're exposing me. Please, please, please stop. That's what's going on in Myron's head right now.
I completely. A man's value and him having sex, they're independent to me.
Okay.
I look at you can be a virgin as a guy and still be a high value dude. Is how I look at it. I think the women are just a byproduct of your value.
But it is a prescription that you would make?
If you're your prescription as far as the 50 girls.
Yeah.
Yes, but you can be high value and not take that prescription.
Right,
is my
but
point.
you must see some value then in prescribing it.
More, and the value is from protecting
He keeps stuttering.
your value. Does that make sense?
Sure.
So,
That totally makes sense.
The value,
Yeah,
the
so-
value is you
But that's why I
protecting your
think if you're
value, but you don't need the women for that value.
Right, but I think that here's the entailment.
Yeah, sure.
So if you're prescribing, have sex with 50 women, okay, this is your prescription and the prescription has value, then whatever the hoes are that they're sleeping with, that's an entailment. So the hoe has to have value.
I mean, this is getting ridiculous at this point. I know you guys see what's going on here. That is an entailment. It perfectly follows logically. It's the only logical conclusion. This is what I call being disingenuous. And that's what Myron is being right now. Disingenuous. Yeah, he knows exactly what he's saying. He doesn't want to admit the truth.
Not necessarily.
Well, you could call them like pawns.
I mean, they would be necessary for you to sleep with 50 women, right?
Look at did you guys see Fresh's face? Did you guys see Fresh's face? Check this out again. Hold on a second.
Be necessary for you to.
Look at his face. Look at Fresh. He's looking at Myron like, the scam is over, bro. He figured us out.
Sleep with 50 women, right? Right.
I mean, if you can
follow
get
that
by,
prescription.
if you can get by, right, with less, sure. But I think a decent barometer is 50 in today's day and age because it will put you in a position where you'll experience a multitude of different girls with different personality types, different behaviors, different red flags, different green flags, etc. So you'll have a general rubric of like, okay, these girls that go to the club all the time probably aren't good. I've dealt with like 3 of them now. Okay, these girls that that are from a sorority and maybe not so good. So like you kind of have an idea of like, all right, this is you get a generality of things.
No, you don't. Let me tell you what you get when you live that promiscuous lifestyle. Let me get what you get. You get drama. You get unplanned pregnancy. You get abortions. You get babies out of wedlock. You get single mother households. You get child support. You get family courts. Why is this guy lying to men? When you live that promiscuous lifestyle, trust me, that's what you get. You don't get this experience that he's talking about. All you get is 3 baby moms at the end. That's it.
Well, so to like the olive branch,
Yeah.
the meeting you halfway. I would not say for a second that the more sexual experience you have and the more worldly you are, that you're not going to have experience in dealing with worldly women. There's no doubt. Or women who aren't worldly. You're still going to have experience in both. But all I'm saying is that I think it's a logical entailment to say, I'm going to prescribe that you go sleep with, let's just say it's 20, right? It doesn't even have to be 50, 15, 10, 5. It doesn't matter. You and I both know the types of women those guys are going to be sleeping with are going to be easy women.
You are going to experience it, right? You are going to get a headache. You are going to get everything I just mentioned earlier. Abortion, child support, and family courts. That's what you're going to get.
And they're going to be low value women. They're basically going to be hoes. So if that's the case, that the hoes are who they're going to be sleeping with, then we have now entailed that hoes have to have value or else you couldn't sleep with them.
Facts. Facts. Just admit it.
I think it's kind of I think all women have inherent value, though, even hoes.
Yeah,
Because
That's not what we are talking about, Myron. That's not what we're talking about. We're not talking about inherent value, human value. We're talking about value in the sexual dating marketplace.
That's what I'm saying, though. You're saying they're valuable.
Because like all females have some type of value because they're women. But as far as like attributing that value to yourself and taking her serious, I think that's a different thing. So you got to figure out which ones are, worth a relationship and which ones aren't. And I think the way to do that is through obviously
Now,
experiencing.
Let's be honest here. From hoes, that's where these red pill guys are getting their value from. And it makes sense. It really does. How else are you going to reach a body count of 50? So please, red pill is out there. Explain to me. What exactly are men supposed to be learning from promiscuous women? From easy women? What am I gaining aside from selfish sexual gratification? So if I get my value from sleeping with 3 or 4s, what does that make me? High value or low value?
Our view, from the Christian ethicist view,
Sure.
they have no value. They only have human value.
Okay.
But they do not have, I would consider them at the lowest end of the...
if they're not virgins, like what
of the value
constitutes-
hierarchy. Women who are very promiscuous and they
Okay.
see sex as a tool or as a utility or as a manipulation device or things like this, instantly the Christian ethicist is going to look at this and say, this is completely sinful, needs to stop, you're totally valueless,
Yeah, fair.
right? Your
Preach.
humanity is still very valuable. You
Of
as
course.
a person is still very valuable. Your salvation is really important to us.
Preach.
Yeah.
But this type of sinful behavior from our perspective is completely degrading to society, and we need to stop it by almost any means necessary, because what ends up happening, it's like an enclosed system. What ends up happening from my perspective is that degeneracy leads to degeneracy, leads to degeneracy, leads to degeneracy.
Okay.
You can't make this shit up. You really can't. That's so true. That's exactly what you get out of degeneracy. It's more degeneracy. But these guys believe that they're going to get something good out of their degeneracy, which is a lie.
I mean, who would ever have envisioned that this would be the world we live in?
Yeah, it's crazy.
But if you back it up, if you look at kind of the slippery slope argument, quote unquote, that started with an LGBTQ push for equality, and once they have it, you have nothing else to complain about. You have to move the goalpost to the next victim group.
Yeah,
Then you have to move the goalpost to the next victim group.
Yeah.
And it becomes
Facts. Facts, guys. Logic and truth are hard pills to swallow. Pause. But the truth is the truth. What the red pill community is telling men is that they value the rise from low value women, who Myron calls, and I quote, stupid idiots, bimbos, and morons. And in my opinion, the reason why is because modern men are weak, idiots, stupid, and degenerates. Hence why, since the sexual revolution, men are the ones funding the entire sex industry. Men are the ones paying for OnlyFans. Men are the ones validating bad behavior from women. And only because they are so drunk with lust. And what has been promiscuous got men apart from nowhere? Huh? Exactly. The birth rate has declined below the replacement rate. Single mother culture is on the rise. Marriages have declined. The nuclear family is dying out. And we can see what kind of impact it's having on society. Anyways, guys, look, listen, man. Shout out to Andrew Wilson. He educated these guys once again. Hopefully they'll change their ways and start doing the right thing and stop misleading men. I hope you guys enjoyed the reaction. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the Solution Podcast. We're here. And yeah, I'll see you on the next reaction, guys. Peace.